guys, I'm trying out a new camera today, so we're going to see how that goes. Welcome to the second episode in Learning Rwandan Sign Language. We're going through the 2009 Dictionary of Rwandan Sign Language, and originally I was going to start at A and go through to Z at the end. But then I realised it would make a lot more sense if I did it by theme, so doing it thematically. And today I thought what we'd take a look at is nationality and how to tell somebody where you're from. Now there is a sign in the dictionary for nationality, and it is the N hand shape. So if you don't know what hand shapes are, go and watch the end of the first episode in this series to understand how to make different hand shapes. So it's the N hand shape on top of the back of your hand, and it makes a little circular jump like that. So nationality. I like to think of it as two little legs standing on top of the world. Nationality. So technically speaking, you could ask somebody, what's your nationality? But sign languages, very much like spoken languages, try to find the most direct way of communicating meaning. So when we talk in spoken languages, we tend to talk in contractions. So a contraction is when you have two words or you have a long word and you kind of squidge it down into something smaller, like instead of saying because, we just say cuz it's easier and it's quicker. Or instead of saying cannot, we say can't. Or I will not, I won't. And so we're constantly looking for ways to make language a little bit quicker and a little bit more flowy. That's not really a great technical term, but we're trying to make the language flow. And it's exactly the same in sign language. So whereas we could say nationality yours what, or your nationality what, it's a bit of a handful. So instead, we often shorten things. We're looking for the most direct way of asking something, and also we're trying to get our signs to flow so that there's a nice kind of movement, a pattern to our movements that is easy to make and quick to make without losing meaning. Now, when we're signing, we tend to have something called the signing space. So the sign space goes from just above your head to about here on your waist and either side like this. And we tend to sign within this box. So you won't really see sign language happening out here or up there or down there. Your hands are going to be in this space. And the reason for that is because sign languages are about the signs that we make, yes, but they're also about the facial expressions that we make, which are called non-manual features. It's a very fancy way of saying facial expression, and also about the lip patterns that we make. So the reason that we're signing within this space is so that people can watch our hands, but they can also watch our face and our mouths at the same time. So one way of really condensing down nationality yours what, or what is your nationality, would be simply to point at the person and make the from sign and a questioning look on your face. So from, so if I look at you and say from, then I'm asking you where you're from. It really is that simple. Like, where are you from? From? You could be a bit more formal about it. So the sign in Rwandan Sign Language for where is this, and that is the same in English as well, same in BSL, British Sign Language. So I might say from where? From where? Is another quick way of asking that same question, and again, like slightly quizzical, downward turned eyebrows, sort of from where? I don't know. I don't know from my facial expression. You can see that I don't know, which is why I'm asking you from where. So if you see somebody making this sign at you or this sign at you, it's quite likely that they're asking you where you're from. And that's what we're going to look at today. And I'm going to go through each of the countries. I'm going to go through them alphabetically, but I am going to start with Rwanda and Africa because that's where most of my viewers are from. So if you just want to know that, Rwanda is easy. Rwanda is beating your chest like a gorilla. So Rwanda. And Africa is drawing the shape with your open hand and coming down to a clenched fist at the bottom. So Africa. Rwanda, which is in Africa. Okay, so we've got that bit out of the way. And to say that you are from Rwanda, you would just say, me, Rwanda. So I would ask, from, and you would go, me, Rwanda. Or you could just shorten it, from Rwanda. You know, it depends how casual the conversation is, but from where? Rwanda. From Rwanda. You know, it's that. So I'm going to go through each of the signs for countries now. Afghanistan. And it's interesting to see that in the dictionary, because in Rwanda we do have a lot of refugees from Afghanistan, and we have a lot of schools, especially girls' schools, that evacuated to Rwanda during the troubles in Afghanistan so that they could continue their education here. So my friend who runs a bookshop in town, she says quite often they get young female Afghani students coming in to go through the bookshop and read the books. So that's kind of cool. Afghanistan. Africa, Yepfo, so South Africa. And it's the same sign as Africa, but instead of a closed fist, we're coming to an O hand shape. So Africa, Yepfo. Yepfo meaning south. So you draw Africa, then you come to an O and a sharp down. Africa, Yepfo. Africa, Yepfo. America, so your 5 hands laced together. This is the same sign we use in the UK. And we just circle it in front of us. 5 hands, linked, America. America. Arabia. 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 So your hand facing down, circle and close. Arabia. And that is a reference to the head covering that many Arab men wear. Often sign language is not overly politically correct. Deaf culture tends to be extremely direct. So Germany in British Sign Language was this, and that is a direct reference to Kaiser Wilhelm's helmet, the Kaiser in Germany. Also India is not very politically correct, and in the UK at the time, China used to be a reference to the eyes. I don't know if they still are, because I haven't been signing in the UK for a very, very long time. Generally, what we tend to do now is to adopt the sign that the country uses for itself. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. But yeah, generally speaking, if somebody gives you a sign for their country, it's a good idea to start using that. Now, it's kind of interesting because in the dictionary we have got another sign for Arabian, which is this. Arabian. So I'm not sure why there are 2 signs. Perhaps that is an old sign and this is a new sign. I'm not too sure. Brazil. 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 Burkina Faso, B hand shape, flipping to an F. BF for Burkina Faso. BF. BF, Burkina Faso. Again, if you don't know what the hand shapes are, go and see the first episode in this series. Burundi is again the B hand shape, waving. Burundi. Maybe easy to remember because Rwanda and Burundi are neighbours, so you can think of it as waving hello to your neighbour. Burundi. Cameroon. A slightly cupped hand, slightly C-shaped hand, from the left side of your stomach, coming round to your back. Cameroon. Cameroon. Left side, Cameroon, to the back. Canada, C-shape again, but just held against the left side. So, Canada. Canada. China. 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 So that's a reference to the traditional clothing, I think. China. Congo. So DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Congo. Just your hands like this, but facing down. Congo. Congo. Congo Brazzaville. So it's the same as Congo, but before that we have a B. A B at our right shoulder. B, Congo. So Congo Brazzaville. Croatia. This one's a little bit tricky. We're starting off with a 5-hand shape, but we're twisting it so that the palm is facing right. So that doesn't feel very easy to do, but 5, palm facing right. If you're left-handed, it can be palm facing left. You can mirror if you're left-handed. So we tend to have our dominant hand, which is the one that does all of the pointing. If you are left-handed, then your dominant hand will be the other hand. But for Croatia, it's an open 5 hand coming down from your neck to your belly, and then close those fingers and right to left. So you're drawing a cross. So Croatia. It's not the easiest one. Croatia. Egypt. Okay, so you've got your closed hand, your fist, and you're just going to open your thumb and your index finger to make a British Sign Language C, and then just hold that to your forehead. So, Egypt. Egypt. I don't know where that comes from. It could be the crescent moon. I think it's likely to be the crescent moon, but it also makes me think of sort of the ibis beak of the Egyptian bird. But yeah, Egypt. Okay, here's one that's close to my heart. England. So it's 2 hands, one over the other. England. Now, earlier I was talking about, you know, if a country gives you their sign for their country, it's a good idea to adopt it. This always feels very strange to me because in England, in British Sign Language, England is this. 2 index fingers rubbing right atop the left. So that's England to me. So I would say I'm from England. So I have to really change it in my mind to being, oh, I'm from England. You can also say UK. So in the UK, using the British Sign Language system, I would say UK. UK. But because we're in Rwanda and we're using the Rwandan Sign Language system, it would be UK. So from UK. So where are you from? I'm UK. So that's kind of a cool hip way of saying it. It kind of looks a bit better than sort of that. But I don't know, because this in British Sign Language, friendship is very similar. So friendship is like that, so it feels like it's friendship across the water. It's an easy way to remember it. Ethiopia. So both hands are an E hand shape. E hand shape like this. Ethiopia. Ethiopia. France. So we're making the F hand shape from the chest, facing you, palm facing, and flicking away twice. So, France. France. Ghana. So for Ghana, we're making the Q hand shape, the Rwandan Sign Language Q hand shape, and we're tapping it on the back of our wrist twice. Ghana. 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 Germany. So 2 5 hand shapes, link them at the thumb. Germany. 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 India. So very much like in the UK, where it used to be India, it is referencing the mark on the forehead. So thumb against forehead, India. 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 Italy. The Y hand shape, in front of you circling. Italy. Italy. Kenya. The K hand shape, waving. Kenya. So like Burundi was waving to our friends in Burundi, Kenya is waving to our friends in Kenya. Korea. Now, Korea in sign language is very similar to China. With China, we were just pointing like that. Korea, we're using a Q hand shape. Korea. Korea. Libya. Now this one, I don't think it's supposed to be funny, but it is slightly funny. So L hand shape, forehead. Libya. Libya. Mexico, two B hand shapes touching above head. They're coming down and closing and then lifting. So Mexico. Mexico. I think it's the sombrero. Mexico. Malawi. Wagging your finger to the right. Malawi. Mali. So three fingers like this, under your eye, coming back to your ear. Mali. Mali. Morocco. So we're starting with a C hand shape over the mouth. We're moving right and closing to an O. Morocco. Nigeria. Okay, so we're taking our N or our U hand shape. It gets a bit tricky. I call it the N hand shape because in the UK it's an N. Technically it's a U hand shape in Rwanda and the US. So our U hand shape, our N hand shape. Sorry, I'm making a mess of this. So we're taking this hand shape and we're bending it slightly and we're putting it just underneath the eye and we're nodding up and down twice with it. So Nigeria. 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 Okay, Rwanda we've already covered. Rwanda, like the gorillas. Rwanda. Spain. So we're taking the Q hand shape and on the left arm we're going to position it like this. So where your elbow is, put your thumb. And then we're going to flip it. Spain. 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 I kind of like to think about it like, you know, the bullfighting cape, like hola, kind of Spain. A little bit of a flourish. Sudan. So like Croatia, this one for me is a little bit difficult to remember. 5 hand shapes, left on top of right, and all we're going to do is we're going to put it on our right hip like that. So Sudan. Sudan. I'm not too sure what the origin of that is. Interesting. Swaziland. So Swaziland is now called Eswatini. So 5 hand shapes over here to the right slightly, just bring them down together. Swaziland or Eswatini. Tanzania. So the American Sign Language T with your thumb between these 2 fingers, and we're just going to draw a Z. So Tanzania. Tanzania. Tunisia. Tunisia. Right hand over forehead, left hand over mouth. Tunisia. Tunisia. Turkey. 2 N hand shapes or 2 U hand shapes. I promise for the rest of this series I'm going to call it U because technically it is U. I'm going to focus, I'm going to mean what I say. So 2 U hand shapes, crook them like this, cross your arms, Turkey. Turkey. So from the beginning, Europe. So Europe is the E hand shape, just like this. So, Europe. Uganda. Q hand shape, tapping it on your palm. Uganda. So you can see here, Uganda. 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 Okay, we're almost there. 2 signs left. Zambia. 2 hands facing down, B hands. So closed fingers facing down. Little bit in front of you, draw them back. Zambia. Zambia. And finally, Zimbabwe. So again, B hand shapes and just cross them. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. Okay, so that's all of the country signs that we've got in the Dictionary of Sign Language. There are many, many countries missing from that. So if you come from a country that wasn't listed, what you can do is you can spell it out and then give the sign for your country. So say that I'm from Poland and somebody asks, where are you from? I would sign, I'm from Poland, and then I would give whatever my sign for my country is. So, for example, from, I could go UK and then give the sign for it. And hopefully the person will then start to use my home sign for my country. So I hope that's been helpful. And now you know how to reply when somebody asks you, or you can tell them your nationality. So I shall see you in the next one.